Disclaimer. The comments made in this video are intended solely for entertainment purposes and are not intended to harm or offend anyone.
From a reckless high-speed chase that put lives at risk.
You now stand charged with another DWI. You're also charged with evading arrest in a motor vehicle. On that one, you're facing up to 10 years in prison. A minimum of 2 years, a maximum of 10 years in prison.
To a hit and run, exposing deeper immigration issues.
Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
How's jail?
Sucks, man.
Great. You know is that September of 23, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. December 1st, 23, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. 5/29/24, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon.
These cases highlight the chaos that ensues when the law is ignored. We begin with the chaotic case of Mr. Fox, facing charges for a high-speed chase that ended in a DWI. His reckless choices and blatant disregard for safety are enough to leave anyone shaking their head.
Mr. Fox, let me express my extreme disappointment. You know, and I think what makes me so very upset is that when people truly need help, the fact that we push it along. And since day one, we've known residential has been needed. You now stand charged with another DWI. You're also charged with evading arrest in a motor vehicle. On that one, you're facing up to 10 years in prison. A minimum of 2 years, a maximum of 10 years in prison. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one.
It's unbelievable how some of these criminals don't think twice before making such reckless decisions, stacking up multiple charges like it's nothing. And let's be honest, this guy isn't a kid. He knows exactly what he's getting himself into.
The officers observed the defendant engage in a race with another on a road in Harris County, Texas. The officer attempted to catch up to the vehicles and was unable to catch up to the other driver. However, the officer caught up to the defendant's vehicle and attempted to initiate a traffic stop by activating lights and sirens. The defendant failed to stop and engaged officers in a 13-mile pursuit. When officers made contact, they observed the defendant step out of the driver's side of the vehicle, and the officers observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, red glassy eyes, and unsteadiness. The defendant admitted to drinking a bottle of wine and taking a Zoloft. During search of the vehicle, the officers found an empty bottle of wine and a Sonic cup that contained a liquid smelling of alcohol.
Alcohol in the car?
Judge Fleischer is known for his zero-tolerance approach when it comes to drinking and driving, and this case is no exception.
Yes, Judge. And the defendant refused standard field sobriety test. DIC was read, and the defendant refused breath. A blood search warrant was signed the next day.
Mr. Fox, did we already have an affidavit on file that he's not supposed to drive?
Let me double check.
I am now putting this affidavit that you're not to drive. If I find that you drive, and I don't care what your reason is, if you get out, because I don't know if you're getting out, then I will have a contempt hearing and you'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. I am now, if you get out, ordering you to be under home confinement. I think that your bond at $15,000 on the DWI is wholly insufficient, and I'm going to raise that to $50,000. I'm also going to raise the terroristic threat, the probation that you're on now. I'm also going to raise that to $50,000 and $50,000 and 1, 2, 3. How many cases does he have in Fort Bend open? I know that he has the one DWI, but what else does he have?
I believe it's just the one DWI, Judge. But Alex is gonna double check for us. And also, Judge, the complainant in the terroristic threat case did reach out to the felony prosecutor because she saw that the defendant had been arrested.
So she does not want any contact with him as far as
him staying in the house.
okay, so Mr. Fox, you're not to have contact with the complaining witness in the terroristic threat. You're not to go with where they live, work.
She just said that I'm not going to live there. I mean, we talk every day that I'm
You're
sitting
not,
there.
no, I mean, she doesn't want to have contact with him?
No, that's not what she said.
I'll go with the email, Judge.
And when did she call the DAs?
She emailed on November 21st. So I think that she saw that the new charges had been filed. She was just concerned, she expressed concern to the felony prosecutor that if the defendant is released to his home address, that's where she's currently staying, and they are going through a divorce. I don't think she'd said anything about no contact between the two. She just requests that he's not sent, you know.
Okay,
to them.
so I won't do the no contact then. Okay. Okay, I want to have a hearing on this ASAP. I'm not waiting anymore on the stuff from, I mean, damn it, I can't do anything now. He's got these cases open anyways. Wait, just what a waste. All right, Mr. Fox, if you're released, like I said, home confinement, on one ankle, you will get a GPS monitor. On your other ankle, you will get a scram ankle monitor, so we know that you're not consuming alcohol. Is that it? I guess that's it, right? No weapons. And then he'll have to, prior to release, he's going to get all those, and then you'll have to find somehow another address for him to live, James, because, you know, we need the address prior. And I mean, I don't know if he's going to bond out now, but
Yes, Judge.
see, but
Can I get that rehabilitation that you had offered?
not while cases are open.
Hold on.
You have the case also that's open in Fort Bend as well.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's going to happen in there. I'll tell you, those cases take even longer to resolve than here.
Yes, sir.
And then how are you going to be able to resolve that over there when you've got this stuff over here? So at some point, you're going to have to transfer over there, resolve stuff. It's just, it's even more of a mess now. So, all right, I guess I'm going to have you put back now. I want to wait to see if we can get Mr. Butler here today. And then if not, we'll just roll it to tomorrow until we get him.
And Judge, I have two more in custody.
Okay, who's next?
All right. I have Andre Smith.
Unlike Mr. Fox's case, this next offense takes things to a whole new level. Mr. Jack's actions are nothing short of alarming. Multiple firearm charges and even threatening a family member? It doesn't get much more serious than that.
Morning, Mr. Jack. Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
How's jail?
Sucks, man.
Great. That's great. Because I got you. I need you to understand that we mean business here. We don't play. And your lawyer I'm bringing you out because it's your case. You need to understand what's going on, number one. Number two, your lawyer has asked for me to reduce your bond. Your bond now is set at $10,000. I have no idea what happened.
Judge Fleischer has a unique way of handling criminals like Mr. Jack. His opening line set the tone. Welcome to the lion's den. But it was clear he wasn't about to go easy on him, no matter what his lawyer had to say.
On your case. The only thing I do know is that September of 23, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. December 1st, 23, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. 5/29/24, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. 11/23/24, unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon and a terroristic threat of a family or household member. You now, with us, are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer was dispatched in response to a family disturbance in Harris County, Texas. The complainant told the officers that her and the defendant, her ex-boyfriend, were having issues regarding child custody, and the defendant was attempting to drop the child off with the complainant, and the complainant refused to take custody because of a previous mutual custody agreement. The complainant told the officers that the defendant then stated, "I just bust your car window, and if you pull up doing anything, I'm gonna shoot your ass in the face." The complainant stated that she was in fear for her life, and the officers detained the defendant and found him to be in possession of a handgun.
All right. Mr. Jack, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case.
This man's behavior is beyond shocking. Threatening to shoot someone in the face over a custody dispute? What could possibly be going through his mind?
A protective order has been issued in this case. What that means is that if you violate this protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you, violation of a protective order. And I'm going to tell you now, you pick up one of those cases and you violate conditions, I can have a hearing to hold you at no bond, zero bond. And I will do it in a heartbeat to protect my county and everyone in it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I find that you are a complete danger to public safety and you refuse to abide by bond conditions. So I don't think that your bond is sufficient. I think that the 10,000 is too low because you are a danger to my public. I'm sorry, Mr. Elick, and regardless, what we do here is just, it's, I guess, peanuts, so to speak, because you're being held at no bond on 2 of your felony cases as is. So what I am going to have you do, though, is this. I'm going to have you sign with me today an affidavit promising me that you're not going to have any weapons. And if I find that you have a weapon, if somehow you are magically released, because I don't know what's going to happen, if I find that you have a weapon, I will have a contempt hearing. I can have a contempt hearing, and I can and may hold you up to contempt every single time you have a weapon. And if they prove it to me, I can send you to 180 days in jail every single time.
Ignoring Judge Fleischer's warnings would be the worst decision he could make. We all know those warnings are anything but empty.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is an affidavit. This affidavit, you're going to promise me that you're not going to have any weapons. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care if you're going into war. I don't care if there's a big battle in the street. No weapons. Do you understand? Look how big. Is that big enough for you to read? What does it say?
No weapons.
Good. We will have you swear to us that you're not going to have any weapons, and at that time, we'll just have you put back. If you do bond out, I'm going to put a GPS monitor on you, and I will put an exclusion zone so that you're not to go anywhere near the complaining witness in this case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You know, did we ever explore that order to surrender weapons to the sheriff's office? Did we ever do anything with that?
I explored it and I talked to multiple people and no one's ever heard anything about it that I could find.
We had that, remember?
I know at one point we did.
We need to do something with that.
I'll make a few phone calls. See where.
I'm going to see what I can do about having the weapons surrendered to law enforcement so that you don't have possession of any weapons. Do you understand? Okay. All right, Mr. Lick. So I guess we'll just wait. It looks like the felony case is set for, oh my goodness, March of next year.
Your Honor, we may be, I just want to get the body cam and we may set this for trial. I mean, I know he's got the other
Wonderful.
felonies, but
I'm itching for a trial. You want 30 days, I guess?
that sounds good.
Okay. All right. We'll have you swear to us no weapons, Mr. Jack. Come on.
As Mr. Jack faces the consequences of his actions, Judge Fleischer turns his attention to a former lawyer whose recent spiral includes evading arrest and vandalizing a store. It's a complicated situation, and we're about to see how the judge handles it.
Hey guys,
Yeah, I'm just, how you doing?
what's going on with you?
Morning, Your Honor, or afternoon, I should say.
Yeah, barely that. It's evening eve. Guys, you're in front of me because you are currently in custody. Your lawyer wants me to let you guys out. And I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Let's start with it's Lane, right?
That's right, Your Honor.
So you initially are charged with evading arrest. We give you a bond, we let you out, and now you've picked up a new case. You've picked up a criminal mischief. You're facing, I think it's even, let's find out. Guys?
So officers were conducting a follow-up report related to an incident that occurred on November 21st. The complainant, the manager of Fan and Food Mart, stated that the defendant entered his store and had an altercation with him. The complainant told the defendant to leave. When the complainant returned to work the following day, he saw that the front window had been broken. The complainant reviewed surveillance and saw an individual throw something at the window who was wearing the same outfit as the defendant had earlier. Additionally, later that day, the complainant saw the defendant walk near the store wearing the same outfit as the individual in the surveillance. The officer viewed the surveillance and confirmed what the CW complainant had seen.
Okay.
It's shocking that this man knows his actions are illegal and still chooses to commit them. Sure, times are tough, but robbing a store is completely unacceptable.
What are you doing with yourself now these days, Mr. Lane?
Presently, I'm not doing anything. I'm unemployed. I was an attorney for 15 years in Chicago, Illinois, and I moved here in July or late June.
You're a lawyer.
Well, I don't know if I'm currently licensed. I let my license go. I did MCLEs. I was supposed to do them over the summer. I had them due, and I just decided not to go back to Illinois. So
You didn't like being a lawyer?
I love being a lawyer. No, I love.
Just stop.
I'm sorry.
Why stop?
Because in order to practice here, which is my new home, it would have been a process of, I think, taking a bar 3 days. I think you guys have.
Yeah, it's
and
awful.
yeah, and I had some other things going on in my life that producing.
You have in your life now.
Who?
Yeah.
Family, nobody in this area, but my mother and father, they live in San Francisco area, and my younger sister does too. My father's a retired lawyer, my sister's a lawyer, my older brother is in, a different
They know
field.
that you're here in this.
As if being unemployed, homeless, and having a growing criminal record isn't enough, he was once a lawyer. It's hard to find any excuse for his actions. What's truly pathetic is that he understands the law yet seems to think he's above it.
Now,
No.
can we reach out to them?
Sure. I mean, if you,
Well, here's the problem, Mr. Lane, is that we gave you a free bond, you've picked up a new case. And the last thing I want is to just let you go and you're going to be roaming the streets of Houston. It's just not a good place to roam. And if you've got nowhere to go, if you've got nothing to do, it could be a recipe for trouble. And that's why I want to let you out, but not just to the streets. If you have a place to go to, if you've got family, if someone's willing to take you in, then we can work something. But for you to just be let out on the street.
I can't help but feel Judge Fleischer is being lenient here. But then again, the judge has a deep understanding of handling cases like this. Still, Mr. Lane should at least take responsibility and seek help.
Number one, don't get into any trouble. And number two, don't be a danger to the public, because we want our public to be safe, secure. And that's it. And if you're on the street, you're roaming, you've got nowhere to go, you've got no food to eat, it's a recipe for disaster. But if we can get your family involved and let them know what's going on with you now, perhaps they're willing to come down, speak with you.
What do you think of Judge Fleischer's compassionate approach to this case?
well, yeah, I mean, I have a larger extended family that really should be bearing this burden, because they were the ones who convinced me to come to Houston in the first place and to stay here.
You can
And
reach out to whoever you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Anyone you want. As long as they have a phone number, then hey.
well, sure. I mean, I'm amenable to that. I'm not sure if that's a solution here that has anything to do with my bond, or because they gave me what, like a $5,000 bond or something. I don't really know.
Yeah, your bond's now, it's $100 on the evading, and then it's 5,000 on the criminal mischief.
Is there
Yeah.
anyone you could stay with in the Houston area?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, I know of one person in the Houston area, and a few others that could possibly be called. I don't really know all their names, but people I met along the way.
Are you comfortable with me calling someone for you in the Houston area?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Sure.
Okay.
For that, let's see who you try to reach out to see how we can get Mr. Lane some help.
Okay. And Judge, when you plan to give him a personal bond, and maybe what we.
No. I want to first see who we can reach out to first. If we can find someone that we have a place for him to go to, willing to help him out, then absolutely.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Lane,
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
want to give you another PR bond, but I don't want to just throw you out to the street, to the wolves,
Sure.
okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
James is great. He's here to help you. together, let's work something to get you the best thing that we can, okay?
Thanks.
Mr. Smith, not very happy with you. You were placed on a probation for unlawful carrying of a weapon. While you were on that probation, you absconded multiple times, meaning you took off. In March of 23, you picked up an assault. And then after you picked up the assault, you took off. Never heard from you again. The only reason we have you now is because you picked up a criminal trespass.
Can I speak on the March case?
Don't. I've got a bunch of district attorneys here, and I don't want you to say something that hurts
Don't
your
speak about
case.
the facts of your case.
Yes.
The problem is that your lawyer is asking me to give you a PR bond to get you out. But I know if I give you a PR bond, you're going to take flight. We'll never see you again. How many times have you done it before? It's a rhetorical question. I don't want you to answer, but the problem is I have your bond at 7503 for a reason.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So we got to find out what's going on with you as well. What I'd like to do is have you TRAS'd. I want you to speak to our clinicians to see how we best go forward. I don't want to just throw you out to the wolves. You know, we want to, how do we get better? How do we make sure this doesn't happen again? How do we get you full-time employment so you can start working? Well,
He works at
I
an
don't
auto shop,
know.
Judge.
Huh?
He works at an auto shop.
Great. But I need just more than words, right? So I'm going to have you TRAS'd. We'll set you off a couple days to see how we go forward. Okay? You understand? Okay. Do you have any family here that's willing to help you out in Houston as well?
My girlfriend, yes, sir. She was trying to buy me out today.
Who else do you have besides that?
My mother works for HPD.
Okay, that's a great start. Do you mind if he reaches out to mom? Okay, don't say anything here because, you know, I don't want you to give phone numbers or anything like that now. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put you guys back. We're gonna try to see how we go forward and then we'll see you here soon, okay? All right, guys, thanks.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, take care, man.
Thank you, Judge.
Here we have Ms. Collins, who couldn't seem to follow even the simplest court orders. It's unbelievable. She's facing charges for assault causing bodily injury, skipped her court date, and still showed up armed with excuses for why she couldn't comply.
You were Destiny Collins. We issued a warrant for your arrest because you failed to appear for court, ma'am.
The paperwork, I told him the same paperwork, it said I was supposed to appear today. If that's the case, my bail bond company should have told me the same thing, but my court date was for today.
You were ordered to appear 11/22 of 24.
Got out of jail that day. I was released from jail on Wednesday of this week, last week that just passed. So it was no way possible. I could have made it to court that same day. I got released from jail again. And I didn't get released from jail till Wednesday at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then also I have the picture. I didn't bring the physical copy because I forgot it, but the paperwork that they gave me when I was leaving, that said my conditions. I have the picture in my phone with my name on it. It says today at 8:30 in the morning. So I showed up today. If that was the case, I would have showed up when I was supposed to come to court. So I don't get that. And I just sat in jail for a week and a half. I cannot go back.
Now that's what I call blame shifting. She seems convinced her excuses are valid reasons for missing her court date. Let's see if she really had no choice, or if it's just more deflection.
You issued the warrant on the 22nd, right? This is Miss Collins. She's not on docket today. 252-6615.
Can I show you the same picture?
She was on the docket on the 20th. She was supposed to be here on the 20th, correct?
The bond paperwork shows,
I'm confused. I'm confused.
it's not a criminal.
Can I grab my phone and show you my?
Don't talk to the prosecutor, please. You're not allowed to. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because if there's a problem and it's not your fault, I will reinstate your bond.
Judge, so on 11/20, she failed to appear. Defendant not present in holdover is what Jamae wrote on the reset. So she wasn't brought up on the 20th. So she rolled it to the 21st, and then the surety bond was posted. The surety bond says 11/20. So it seems to contradict itself. The 20th.
So whoever wrote the bond did a mistake, because they put
Whoever hand wrote 11/20
back in time as opposed to, so what, you said you have paperwork that says that you're supposed to be here today?
I left the physical paperwork at home, but I had my brother send me a picture because I forgot it. I can show it.
Yeah, sure. You see that it shows today's date?
I like it.
Yes, Judge. November 26th at 8:30
Okay,
a.m.
all right, remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
August 8th, 2024, a deputy was dispatched to a bar and grill in Harris County, Texas regarding an assault. The complainant worked at the bar as a bartender. Defendant came behind the bar and began striking the complainant multiple times with a closed fist to the face and upper extremities, causing pain. Complainant began to fight back to defend herself. During the fight, a crowd of people surrounded her, and some individuals who she did not know began to stomp and kick on her while she was fighting on the ground. Complainant
Stop
stated-
and kick the complaining witness.
That's not true.
Stop.
That's a whole new level of violence, and it's unacceptable. The fact that she thought punching someone was the best way to resolve her issue is downright outrageous.
Please.
Yes, the complainant stated during the fight, a crowd of people surrounded her and began to stomp and kick her while she was fighting on the ground. She stated that the fight lasted approximately 2 minutes. The complainant and the defendant did not know each other and stated that she did not know the defendant well enough to fight her. The complainant stated the fight ended because someone yelled out, "I'm calling the police."
Okay. Tell me, does she have anything else that's open at the time now?
She's currently on probation out of Galveston County for theft.
Yes.
And I think you had mentioned something about Fort Bend, so we're looking for.
Lord, we're hitting the Tri-County area now?
We're not showing anything out of Fort Bend, Judge, but she is on probation out of Galveston right now.
She may have been in custody in Fort Bend. I don't know. So is run full NCIC, please. Ms. Collins, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my public in every single way, shape, form, manner. And if you become a danger to my public, I am first off going to put you in jail. Next off, I'm going to make your bond so high, you're going to flip. Do you understand?
Those warnings from Judge Fleischer are far from empty. The best thing Ms. Collins can do for herself now is to stay calm, steer clear of trouble, and avoid those bars altogether.
And do not go back to this bar or any other bar. I'm prohibiting you from going to any establishment where 51% or more are beer, liquor, any kind of clubs. You're not to go anywhere of this nature. Do you understand? Does she have a felony theft or does she have a misdemeanor theft? And then what else is open? What kind of criminal history are we talking?
Felony theft, Judge. And I believe that's her only history. And Alex is looking into the Fort Bend case as well.
Your Honor, I don't have any record of her case in Fort Bend. Looking at the county clerk website for Fort Bend, I don't see any cases open with her name and date of birth.
So the only other thing you see is it a probation that she's on?
Yes.
For Galveston.
Oof.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge, 2 years deferred on Galveston.
How old are you, ma'am?
23.
Here we have a young man who's been on probation since February, but hasn't lifted a finger to comply with its terms. Now, Judge Fleischer has to decide how to handle him before the situation spirals further out of control.
You were on probation and it's not going well. We're bringing you here now in an effort to reach out to you before we put you in jail because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's amazing how having you come here actually gets the spark to go, because I see that you've now completed the gun safety class. How many months is he overdue on that?
He's been on probation since
He's been on probation since February.
February.
Has he done anything?
No, this is the first thing he's done.
So do you want to go to jail? You're begging for it. What else does he have to do?
Thinking for a change.
Is that it?
Mhm.
Okay. Which thinking for a change are we doing?
It's the long.
It's the long one?
Mhm.
Okay. I now have to micromanage you because apparently you're unable to get things done on yourself. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know and I want to make sure that you're clean. And I hope above all else that you are clean, because you are not to use any marijuana. You're not to use any alcohol, anything while you're on probation. Do you understand? What's been going on, Mom? Why is he not in compliance? He hasn't done anything since February. We're now in December, near December. You are in complete and utter violation of everything in this probation. And I'm sorry that we have to micromanage, because now it's on you to have to bring him up here, because now I'm not having him report to the region anymore. I can't trust you to do what you said you were going to do when you signed on this probation. Now you will report directly to me. And the next time you fail, guess what's going to happen? Right. Shatori, I'd like to send her for a drug test right now. And then what we're going to do is I'm sending you for 2 weeks. You must be enrolled and have at least one class on the thinking for a change done. If you fail to do it, a warrant for your arrest will be issued. And I'm not promising anything now, but I'm sending you for a drug test and I'm hoping that you are negative. Do you understand? Take a seat for me. I'll plan with you, ma'am, 2 weeks. He's got to be back with proof that he's enrolled in the thinking for a change. He's got at least to have one class done. Is it one time a week or how does it work?
It's one time a week.
And it's like 3-4 months? How long is it?
12 weeks.
It's 12 weeks that you have to go one time a week. If you fail to go, things are just not going to go well. I'm doing this in an effort to try to help you with this, Mr. Henley.
When you blatantly ignore your probation terms, it's almost like you're asking to be sent to jail before getting your act together. He's been given another chance, but Judge Fleischer made it crystal clear. This is his final warning. It's in his best interest to step up, follow the probation terms, and turn things around.
Do they have them online, Shatori? Online? Shh.
Yes, I'll give him a list of places he can go right now.
But it can be done online. There's absolutely no excuse. Okay. What about, did you graduate from high school?
That's not yet. It's still my senior.
You're in your senior year. That is a condition of his probation as well, that you graduate from high school. I'm not letting you go out of this until you graduate from high school. Do you understand? Okay. All right. So let's send it for a drug test now. We'll have him come back.
Unlike Henley's case, Mr. Cope finds himself facing charges for driving while drunk. This after successfully completing his probation for a previous crime.
How are you?
Amazing.
I'm sorry?
Amazing, sir.
I hope. I really hope. You know, you've got a lot of stuff going on. And wow. All resolved.
All resolved.
What happened?
I'm done with it.
Everything got dismissed.
Everything's done.
So no more probation.
No more probation. I'm tired of that.
Did you learn anything? If you learn one thing leaving here today, Mr. Cope, patience. Patience goes so far in life. When you are confronted with someone who's an a-hole, exercise patience. You know, it don't matter. Even if you're right and they're wrong, with your record, if a cop rolls up to you, they will probably hard pressed to take your side because of your record, you know. But if you exercise patience, right, or walk away, if you see a situation that's getting out of control, it's really going to serve you well. You know, I cannot tell you how lucky you are, really, that you're with this. You were on probation for an aggravated robbery with the where was it, the arson? Yeah.
Your Honor, he took a 10-month jail on the MAJ for the arson.
Is that what it is? But he's got sufficient credit that you're probably walking out of here today, right, Mr. Cope? But what I'm saying is patience goes a long way. Even, you know, if you get into a pissing match with an officer, anyone that has a power of arrest, who's going to win? Right. Every single time. I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you're wrong. You're still going to get it. So just patience. Tuck your tail. And, you know, if you ever have an issue, come back to me and I'll help you too. If you ever need help, come back to me here and I'll do what I can to help you out. If you need, you know, shelter. I mean, I can't give you money, but
housing.
you know, whatever. If someone's messing with you in life, come back to me. We can try to work it out somehow. You know, I can give you a lawyer. We can work things out somehow, some way. But patience, man. You know, it really goes a long way.
I'm just serious. You asked me what I've learned. I've started to let things go more than I did 2 years ago.
It's great.
I've started to just learn to let things go instead of, you know, someone does something that sometimes you just gotta walk away. Like I'm dead serious about that. I'm not joking.
You know what that's called, right? Mature. You're growing up. And part of growing up known is the fact that you recognize, hey, shit, if I get into this situation, I'm not going to win. You get into it with them, you're never going to win. It doesn't matter. So just don't. Walk away. Come here.
This is a textbook example of actions having consequences. Suspending his license for a while seems like a fair response.
I'll talk with you. We'll hang out. Whatever we need to do. The other thing is this, is that if you're ever in a car, you smell like dope, you smell like alcohol, it's not going to go well too. You're pleading now to this DWI. This DWI is going to go on your record. Understand that from evermore, you get pulled over, you smell funky, it's not going to go well. You understand?
Yes.
You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement, Mr. Cope. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses, testify on your behalf, confront, cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country. You're giving up the right to appeal. When you plead guilty, that's it. I want to let you know one more thing. So what did he ultimately plead to?
So he ultimately pled on the MAJ for the arson. He pled to the 10-month state jail sentence.
So you pled to a state jail felony, or does he have a third degree on your record? Because I want you to understand that if you have a third degree on your record and you pick up a serious felony, the next time you could be a potential 15 to life case. So that's why I'm saying if you pick up a serious felony, it could be a minimum of 15 years. All right. How do you plead to the offense of DWI?
I plead guilty to driving while intoxicated.
I'll find you guilty. I'll send you to it. What are we doing?
3 days for 121.
So 3 days, 121? 121 days credit, Mr. Cope. I really wish you the best of luck, man. I hope you go out there, start working, killing it, making a ton of money. You know, really, that's what life's about, buying nice things, right? Get out there and make the world a better place.
We come to the case of Mr. Perez, who's facing charges for leaving the scene of an accident after a crash.
You are Namus Perez Cajax? Yes. Sir, you are charged with failure to stop and give information, leaving the scene of an accident without exchanging information. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
It's shocking how someone could cause an accident and, instead of taking responsibility, choose to run away.
Officers were dispatched to a minor crash. Upon arrival, officers observed damaged vehicle that was no longer drivable. Complaining witness advised that a black vehicle disregarded the stop sign. Complaining witness advised the vehicle stopped briefly before driving away. A witness saw the crash and took a picture of the license plate. Officers ran the plate and found the defendant was the registered owner. Officers made contact with the defendant, and defendant agreed to meet officers at scene of crash. Defendant admitted to being involved in the accident. He advised that he is the owner and the only driver of the vehicle. The defendant advised the officers that he did not see a lot of damage and saw that the complaining witness was uninjured, so he left. Estimate of damage is $1,000.
Mr. Perez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Tell me, are you a United States citizen?
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Without permission.
What happens if you go to jail, Mr. Perez?
I don't know.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Está en el país con o sin permiso. Without permission.
I want you to think, what happens if you go to jail?
Talk about doubling down on criminal behavior. Not only did he flee the scene, but it turns out he's also hiding his immigration status. Does he really think he's going to get any special treatment after this? Let's see how Judge Fleischer deals with him.
Okay.
Bueno, si voy a la cárcel, pues voy a cumplir con lo que diga el juez.
Well, if I go to jail, I'll comply with what judge says.
You're not in this country with permission. Immigration sweeps the jail on a daily basis, every 6 to 8 hours. If you go to jail and immigration finds you there, they will put a detainer on you and you will sit in jail until first this case is over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration. Well, you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for them to do whatever they're going to do. If you don't want that to happen, then do not violate the conditions I put on you now. Number 1, do not pick up a new case. Number 2, you do not have a Texas driver license, so you are not allowed to drive. I am having you sign a promise with me today. This is an affidavit that you're not going to drive, and I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care if you need groceries. I don't care if someone has to go to the hospital. I don't care if Bambi gets run over and needs to go to the hospital. You get into a car and drive. You can be doing a substantial amount of time in jail. Do you understand? This is an affidavit you're signing, promising me that you're not going to drive. I'll have you first sign this. After that, I'm going to get you to Victoria. We will have you sign a reset. We are going to get you out of here. You need a lawyer. So we are going to give you time to go hire a lawyer. I'll have you sign the reset. And then after that, you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer. Do not pick up any more criminal cases. Do you understand? Okay.
Thank you.
What's your take on the judge's decision?
Is that going to be state's bond condition?